ilayska umada.
The long-awaited event is finally here.
Qatar World Cup 2022, the much awaited.
We are set.
Catch all the moments as they happen live on KBC Channel 1.
We are ready. And we won't disappoint. Don't miss the Qatar 2022 World Cup, which is just a dial away. World Cup, iko KBC.
Kupata mtumaini Mungu kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza *811 *815 #.
Mtumaini Mwenyezi Mungu kwa moyo wako wote, wala usitegemea akili zako mwenyewe. Umtambue Mungu katika kila ufanyalo, naye atazinyosha njia zako. Usijione wewe mwenyewe kuwa mwenye hekima. Mche Mwenyezi Mungu na kujiepusha na uovu. Methali 3:5-7. Kumbe uovu huwajia wasiojiepusha na huo uovu. Tazama, unahitaji kufanya moja tu bila gharama.
Kupata mtumaini Mungu, bonyeza *811 *815 #.
The 9th day of December 2022. Good afternoon and happy holidays. This is the great KBC and this is KBC Lunchtime News. Now, the race for this trophy behind me is highly in earnest and only 8 teams remained. Today, the matches are back. We have to get 2 semi-finalists today. Will it be the Samba Boys, Brazil, who will be playing against Croatia at 7 p.m.? Well, that match, we will be eagerly waiting for that. Or will be Netherlands versus the Argentinians. Well, that is also a very interesting matches. Remember, your true sports partner, KBC Channel 1, will be beaming one of these matches live. But I will be telling you about the World Cup a little bit later. Thank you indeed so much for joining us. My name is Bentro Njue. This is Lunchtime News. And first things first, we now look at the news making headlines right here in the country. An independent candidate has won the South Game ward seat in Siaya County and flowered the Orange Democratic Movement ODM candidate, the perceived dominant party in the region. The election that was marred by violence saw independent candidate Brian Obiero Onyango garner 3,469 votes, beating his closest opponent, Polycarp Wanga of ODM, by a margin of only 116 votes. Wanga polled 3,353 votes.
Speaking after being declared the winner at Aluo's Girls Primary School Hall, Onyango, also known as Otuompolo, hailed the South Game ward voters for standing firm against Tom ODM party officials. Governors Orengo and Nyong'o had led a spirited campaign by ODM to capture the seat. Onyango termed his win as fair and vowed to ensure the area records tangible development.
To me, I'm so grateful for the people of South Game, and we'll forge ahead and make sure we develop South Game as a ward that shows that we can work even if the governor didn't want us to work with him. Now I'm declaring to James Orengo to prepare to work with me and know that I've won fairly this thing, even if him and Nyong'o were really funding my opponent who wasn't worth being a leader in this country. Thank you.
Yesterday, scores of people were seriously injured, with more than 10 vehicles stoned as they ran into the goons at Kambare polling station. Game Sub-County Police Commander Charles Chacha confirmed the incident, adding that 2 other people were knocked by the vehicle and were rushed to Bondo Sub-County Referral Hospital. ODM candidate Paul Kapwanga, who later led more than 10 vehicles damaged during their skirmishes in various parts of the ward, to report the incident at Akala Police Station, condemned the incident and accused the police of not acting decisively against the goons.
You can't say you have a stronghold and then you destroy anything that comes around your stronghold. That is not in order. I can't accept that, and we are here to report a case, as you can see, from behind. My friend is hurt. I don't know how you're going to manage that, or we are going to run about this. You've been walking all over South Game in polling stations with your supporters as well, even in my stronghold, but nobody even chased you or talked negatively about you.
The by-election, which were occasioned by the death of an ODM candidate, Nick Wanga, just before the last general election, drew a total of 9 contestants. Andrew Kero for Lunchtime News.
And still on matters polls, the Bungoma senatorial race yesterday picked up pace, and the election has been being followed keenly by my colleague Wycliffe Okech, who is still in Bungoma and brings us this live report. Good afternoon, Wycliffe.
Thank you so much, Ben Troy, back in Nairobi. We are, of course, coming to you live from, this is Kabuchai constituency, specifically Mabanga Agricultural Training Center, which is the Bungoma County Tallying Center, where just a while ago, the returning officer, the IABC returning officer for this particular county declared, or rather, following the Bungoma senatorial by-election that kick-started yesterday, we finally have a winner with us here in the name of Wafula Wakoli, who was among the 11 candidates who were vying for this particular seat. Wafula Wakoli has emerged the victor with about 66,032 votes, followed closely by his UDA challenger Mwambu Mabonga, coming second at 45,907 votes. Wafula Wamunyenye coming distant third. Of that, Wafula Wamunyenye is of the DAP party, coming distant third with 20,519 votes. The voter turnout for this particular exercise, remember, this exercise has been marred with a very low voter turnout. Some of the candidates attributing it to just being a by-election. You see, this is very different from the general election, where we have 6 seats being contested for, but this one was just a by-election with only 1 seat being contested for, and probably that contributed to the low voter turnout of about 21%. Right away, I'm going to engage the senator right now and to tell us how does he feel, what is his priority right now. Ben, let me just engage the senator directly. And Senator, congratulations, and if you can just share with us, how do you feel right now that you've been declared the victor among the 11 candidates?
I feel happy, I feel light and ready to go. Our agenda is to work for the people of Bungoma, and here truly I'm ready with my team to start working. Yes.
It has been quite it wasn't an easy task emerging victor. Just tell us what it probably could have catapulted you to victory among your closest challengers.
One is the trust in God, that no man is limited. Number 2 is the deep networks and structures that we have as a party. Number 3 is the content we have. Our agenda was not personalized to people. We were looking at what our people want and what as a party and as a coalition we stand for. And that is what exactly made us able to deliver. And last but not least, you understand that Bungoma is the bedrock of Fort Kenya. And we have members of parliament, we have MCAs, we have opinion leaders, deep and wide, on the ground. And therefore it's simply like trying to shake an Kericho tree. And yours truly, you see, my able competitors are somewhere relaxing. enjoying our success as well through views ASAL.
Well, you mentioned Bungoma being the bedrock of Ford Kenya, and you've worked closely with your party leader, that is Mumias Sugar, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Could have that played a part in your victory?
When I talk about the deep and wide networks of the party, definitely there is a taproot. The taproot is the Speaker of the National Assembly. That is our Papa Roma. Yeah. His dictates are cast on stone, my friend, and he's in our hearts. So the direction was very clear. We as the disciples went on the ground with a message of hope and a message of liberation. And there we are, ready to start working.
For Kenya could be deeply entrenched in Bungoma County, but then now your employers are the electorate. What message do you have for them? And probably what is your key agenda as you assume office?
My key role in the Senate is oversight, legislation, and representation. Another role that we have as leaders is to consult and build consensus on issues that are national, that we agreed as Kenya Kwanza we must deliver to our people. And that is why we are here as a team. Moving forward, we'll be bargaining on behalf of the people of Bungoma with a clear mind. If it is housing, if it is agriculture, if it is roads, if it is health, we agreed that the government will do a certain percentage for us. If it is matters Bungoma County, we have a governor, a deputy governor, and the structures. We believe in consensus and teamwork. We will be able to deliver on our promises to the people. So our people should not give up. The journey has just begun.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
The only last one they were waiting for, and now the team is full. We are able to deal with the issues properly.
All right. Congratulations once again. So thank you so much. Troy Njue, that is now the Senator of Bungoma County. Mr. Wafula Wakoli of Ford Kenya was emerged victor among the 11 candidates who contested for the senatorial seat following a successful following after Moses Wetangula became the Speaker of the National Assembly. And just like you've heard from him, he's extending an olive branch or a little branch to his competitors to join him in unison in service to the residents of Bungoma County. Well, this has been quite a tiresome or rather a long journey since yesterday when the polls were opened, and now we put a nail on it, but then our viewers should expect a comprehensive story out of this. But for now, let me just hand it back to you, Troy, for more coverage.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, and congratulations to the winner, and the good job that you have done, Wycliffe, since yesterday. Congratulations to the winner again. And now they should focus on service delivery. And away from that, we're still touching on matters politics, where a section of women leaders from Meru County now claim the impeachment motion against Governor Kawira Mwangaza is a political plot hatched by senior political leaders in the county. The women leaders claim the members of the county assembly keen on impeaching the governor are just political pawns, and that the impeachment plot is a smokescreen for the political chess playing out in the county.
The County Assembly of Meru for the second time is engaged in an attempt to impeach Governor Kawira Mwangaza, with Abogeta MCA Dennis Kiogora having tabled yet another impeachment motion on Wednesday. This is after the High Court in Meru thwarted a previous attempt, ruling that the motion was not procedural in its tabling before the Assembly. Women leaders are now up in arms, accusing the Assembly of being pawns. The leaders claim senior political leaders in the county want to settle scores with the governor and are behind the impeachment plot.
Is this just one woman who competed with you and she won? We will not allow you to take her down. Yes. We will not allow you men to take Kawira Mwangaza down the way you took Anita Karemi down in 1970s. Yes.
The women leaders claim there is a deliberate move to undermine women leadership in the county.
It seems that in Meru region we have a lot of male chauvinism, and that is why I'll support my point by noting that since 1970s to date, it's only 2 women in Meru region who have ever competed against men and won.
Mimi langu ni kuongea na waheshimiwa wenzangu MCA wale wako mbunge sahi. Nashangaa ni aje mama anaweza olewa na ajue village ile ameenda na ajue kona za hiyo nyumba in 1 month or 2.
Ombi langu kwa MCAs ni kwamba kama mama ana reach out ama anaomba upatanisho uwe, wao pia wa reciprocate.
They have appealed to President William Ruto and his deputy to intervene and quell the conflict between the governor and the lawmakers.
Gavana wetu wa Meru Kawira Mwangaza tunamsupport kama wamama kwa sababu ya manufaa ambayo ametuletea tukiwa wamama na mtoto wa msichana.
John Jacob Kuria, Lunchtime News.
And away from politics, the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, now says there is a need for a strong opposition for checks and balance on the government. NCCK subsequently urged the government to facilitate and provide security to the opposition when conducting their meetings as part of its mandate. The council at the same time called for public participation on matters affecting the people, in particular the current discourse regarding GMOs.
We recognize that the democracy must have safeguards. Safeguards of forbearance on the part of the government and safeguards of tolerance on the part of the opposition. And the opposition must be strong, must be vigilant, must be visible, and must be vocal. Because the people of Kenya passed a constitution that does not have a position for the opposition leader. Everybody needs to ask, what shape is it going to take? Is it a constitutional office, or is it just going to be provided in law? It's not a walk in the park. These are constitutional matters, and Kenyans want to be involved in all decisions about their future.
Moving on, security agencies in Makueni County have launched a crackdown on manufacture and use of illicit brews as well as trafficking of bang. This comes after several rolls of bang stashed in bags were nabbed by police officers in Mtito Andei stopover while on transit, led by Makueni County Commissioner Bavalin Opwara. The agency said they won't tolerate drug and substance use whose consumption tends to rise during long December holidays.
Focus yetu kuanzia sasa ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunatoa hizi vices katika eneo letu. Hatutaki illicit brews, hatutaki second generation liquor, and especially mambo ya drugs kama bangi. Tushafanya mapping, tumejua eneo ambazo zinaweza kuwa hizi vices zinaenea zaidi.
Elsewhere, residents of Kamasian, Kipkelion and Chila wards in Kericho County are set to benefit from an ongoing water project which will put an end to the water shortage problem in the region. During an inspection tour of the project, Kericho County Governor Dr. Eric Mutai said the Kimoligot water project is 60% complete and it will only serve the 3 wards but surrounding areas as well.
And that is why kama kaunti ya Kericho tumesimama kwa kauli moja tuhakikishe ya kwamba watoto hawatateseka kwenda long distances kutafuta maji. We want our girls to be in school, we want our boys to be in school, and how to treat that is to have water in our homes.
Earth observation through satellite imagery is increasingly being identified as an essential enabler in addressing food insecurity in the country. Speaking during the launch of the Information for Agriculture and Food Security project, Dr. Kenneth Mubea from Digital Earth Africa said that free data will enable informed decision-making on climate action by farmers, researchers and policymakers in the agriculture value chain.
These are tools that are very accessible. Once we engage with you, then modalities or arrangements are made to see how we can be able to give you access to the tools.
Giving farmers digital information or geospatial information does not make any sense to them. You need to, one, put it in a format that they can understand. and combine it with other information that will help them to make those critical decisions at the farm level.
Arid and semi-arid regions have been encouraged to structure their communication networks to highlight their economic potential. Players in the communication sector say ASAL regions' resources are yet to be fully exploited to help spur the county's economies due to limited information about their economic potential.
United States Agency for International Development, through the Resilience Learning Activity Program, is seeking to increase ASAL counties' visibility through strengthening their communication systems.
And therefore, it behoves the counties to inform the public what it is that they're doing. So whatever facilities that can be deployed in terms of media, social, legacy, and word of mouth that can be employed to communicate and pass messages of what the government is doing to the local communication, that's really critical.
The program, which seeks to open up the ASAL regions to more investments by showcasing their resources to potential investors, will see communication officers based in the counties trained on best communication strategies, development partners engagements, social, cultural and economic dynamics, among other public relations skills.
People know what they know about Marsabit is drought, killings and the rest. But there is so many good things that's happening in Marsabit. And through this program, we were able to cover many development projects, many development programs.
The trainings will culminate in the launch of a communication strategy for the counties.
Yeah, they need to create and portray a positive story about ASAL counties, because these counties are not have a lot of potential, especially in terms of minerals, especially in terms of other resources such as wind and solar power.
Samburu and Taita Taveta have draft communication strategies in place.
In other news, a self-proclaimed environment ambassador in Embu County is encouraging use of efficient charcoal production methods in protecting the country's forest cover. Anastasia Njue says while growing up, his mother used to cut trees from their farm for domestic use, and he did not receive the move so well because at some point they would yearn for shade in vain. Njue says after pursuing his high school education, he eventually ventured into briquettes productions business in an effort to protect the environment, and he is not turning back. Take a look.
Atanasia Njue, a resident in Embu, says his mother's action to cut down trees at their farm for firewood and charcoal use was annoying. Upon completion of his high school education, Njue joined the Juakali sector in Nairobi County to make ends meet. He would then visit his village home more often after gaining experience on the job. However, deforestation back home was still an issue to him. He opted to quit his Juakali job for an environmental venture. Njue resolved to make briquettes for home use and for sale.
Sasa hiyo kitu ilikuwa inaniuma sana, manake saa ingine naweka muti, nafikiria hiyo muti ndio nitatumia kujenga nikipata pesa ya kujenga, lakini nakuta mamangu ameikata na amechoma makaa.
He used his skills from the Juakali sector to make the machines to produce the briquettes. The venture was welcomed by now his village mates, who supported him to acquire more machines to a large production of the briquettes.
Kwanza niliakuwa nimeajiri watu watatu wa kuoperate hizo mashini. Na alafu uko kwa ground natafuta wengine wa kutafuta raw materials ambazo ni njifu, ile mapaki ya makaa ya waste ukichoma, alafu unatumia ile miogo.
The process begins by sorting out the raw materials before crushing them to a fine powder, which is later mixed with water and cassava powder to enhance glue purpose. The solution is later mixed before manually cut into sizes and dried for at least 2 days. Njue has now employed about 300 youths across the production chain, not only in Embu but also in neighboring counties of Meru, Kirinyaga and Tharaka-Nithi. Irene Mchuma Udim, The Lunchtime News.
Center for Rights Education and Awareness, in partnership with civil society organizations, have protested against the recent judicial decision on mandatory sentencing under the Sexual Offences Act that minimum sentencing for sexual offences is unconstitutional. They say that the decision is unconstitutional and disregards the rights of survivors of sexual violence, as it has seen numerous applications for resentencing by prisoners across the country. The groups that marched from Uhuru Park to the Supreme Court presented a petition to the Chief Justice through the Chief Registrar, Anna Amadi, bearing 16 demands.
These judgments not only fail to take into account a survivor-centered approach, but also grants judicial officers unfettered discretion to issue sentences for sexual offences. This has resulted in numerous applications for resentencing by convicts in courts countrywide.
That if someone, for example, is defilement cases, is 15 years. So if you remove that, it will mean a magistrate will make their own discretion. It could be a month, it could be 1 year. We don't know what kind of discretion they will have. But when you have a framework, which is the Sexual Offences Act, then that gives them the parameters on how to make a judgment of such a case.
I commit to handing over the petition to the Honorable Chief Justice as soon as she gets back. We expect her back next week.
Well, at about 25 minutes past the hour, we are taking a quick short break. But when we come back, we still have more stories, not forgetting business and all the latest from Qatar in the sports news. Don't go away.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
Hakimi given the responsibility. A very seasoned man. Has played over 50 caps. 57 to be precise. For Morocco. Hakimi puts it in the net. And they will not need to go for the others. Because even if they do, Morocco will still have won it. And Morocco get into the last 8 for the very first time in history. And a celebration is in the offing. Courtesy of Abdelhamid, Hakim Ziyech, and Hakimi.
Nairobi Railway City is an iconic multimodal urban development planned on the 425-acre space between Uhuru Highway to the south, Landis Road to the north, Bunyala Road in the east, and Haile Selassie Avenue in the west.
Tunaikaribisha na roho mzuri na nia mzuri, sababu tunajua kwamba itakuwa na msaada kubwa sana.
The ultra-modern city within a city, designed to align with the Nairobi Integrated Urban Master Plan, NIU, the Nairobi Transport Master Plan, and the Nairobi Commuter Railway Master Plan, will decongest and modernize the CBD. It will serve as a transport hub for the city, including non-motorized transport, public transport, and railway transport.
I think it's a great initiative. It's going to be very convenient for the passengers who are traveling.
The construction of Phase 1 and 2 will create 5,000 jobs and a further 5,000 jobs after completion.
Itakuwa inasaidia mwananchi mwingine ambaye anatafuta kazi.
It will also create numerous opportunities for micro and medium enterprises, MSMEs, to carry out trade within the newly established retail and commercial spaces in the public and non-motorized transport corridors. It was made possible through the partnership of the UK government and the Kenyan government. The Nairobi Railway City, ultra-modern, truly Kenyan in design, an idea whose time has come.
Kwa tunaomba kwa hiyo mradi mnaleta, mtukumbuke na mtutafutie hadi kama ni nafasi kiasi ya kufanya kazi.
At the Kenya Railway Corporation, we are right on track.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back. Moving on, security apparatus from Kenya and Tanzania have intensified surveillance at the border points to ensure no girl undergoes female genital mutilation. According to the Tanzania Regional Engagement Police Officer Daudi Ibrahim, a meeting that brought together security officers from the two neighboring countries was done in Tarime, Tanzania, to wage war on the vice and in particular to prevent circumcises from crisscrossing the borders to carry out the harmful cultural practices on young girls.
Even as the Kuria Community Cultural Festivals kick off this month, security has been heightened across the Kenya-Tanzania border to deal with perpetrators of female genital mutilation. Tanzania Regional Engagement Police Officer Daudi Ibrahim reveals that they have done through sensitization on the locals not to accept their children to undergo the harmful cultural practice.
Kwa tumeweka mikakati mbalimbali ambao tunajua kabisa hiyo mikakati tukiifanyia kazi swala hili tutalitokomeza na litaisha. Kwa mimi ninashukuru sana kwa serikali ya Tanzania na serikali ya Kenya kwa namna ambavyo inalisimamia na kulishughulikia swala hili, lakini tuna imani katika harakati na mikakati ambayo tumeipanga tutafanikiwa na ukeketaji utatokomezwa.
Na the key objective ya hii kikao ilikuwa ni kukama up na strategies ambazo zitasaidia kumaliza ukeketaji ya mtoto msichana wakati huu ya likizo ya December.
Kuria West Deputy County Commissioner Andrew Mwiti, however, noted that the circumcisers have changed tact and are now moving door to door in a bid to evade the police dragnet.
Tumegundua ya kwamba wakeketaji wanatumia mipaka yetu. Wale wa Kenya wanahamia upande ya Tanzania, wanatorokea Tanzania. Tukiweka mikakati kali ya kuzuia ukeketaji, wanavuka Tanzania na wakuja wanajificha huko, wanafanya ukeketaji.
With the heightened security at the border points, we are sure that we are going to minimize the number of girls who will be transported both sides from Kenya to Tanzania to be cut and from Tanzania to Kenya to be cut.
He, however, said that they would continue with intensive patrols within the two Kuria sub-counties to ensure that no young girl is taken through the retrogressive rite of passage.
Lakini mikakati ni pamoja na kuendeleza patrol, mikakati ya kukamata, kuaresti wale ambao watafanya FGM, na vile vile tunaendelea kutoa elimu kwa sababu kuna watu wengine pamoja na kwamba tayari tumeshatoa elimu, lakini bado wengine wanahitaji kuendelea kupewa elimu kuhakikisha tunatokomeza hii FGM.
Close to 10 girls have so far been rescued since schools closed for December holidays.
From the border now back to Nairobi, where a family in Eastleigh is fearing for their lives following threats issued by a suspect in police custody accused of killing their father. The suspect, Mahad Abdi Farah, has allegedly threatened to deal with the family immediately he is released from custody.
The family of Abdi Fatah Hassan Bare is yet to come to terms with the daylight murder of their father by a business competitor.
Walikuwa wawili. Wameingia kwa gari, kabla hajaingia kwa gari aliniambia kuna mtu atakufa hapa leo. Waliingia kwa gari, baba yangu akakuja, tulikuwa wawili sisi. So nilikuwa pale kwa shimo mahali maji inamwagiliwa. Wakatukuta mimi, huyo jamaa alikuwa na yeye amenigonga chuma hapa, na huyo Mahad mwenyewe akachukua kisu akamdunga mzee kwa chest wa moyo.
The deceased is said to have been stabbed along Eastleigh 7th Street following a rivalry while supplying water to one of the residential houses.
Kwa namwambia kwa Kisomali, alikuwa amemwambia ulikataa kupeleka maji, ulikataa kuacha kupeleka maji Maida Towers, yani ile nyumba tulikuwa tumeenda saa hii. Na salama ni kitu mzuri. Sasa utaona kitu nitafanya, utaona. Alinitishia hivyo na niko na audio yake ile alirecord kwa simu ya mzee.
The perpetrator Muhammad Abdi Farah then fled on a motorbike and was later arrested. But even with his arrest, the bereaved family still lives in fear after they received fresh threats warning of the impending elimination of Ahmed Mohamed, the firstborn son to Bare.
Si mtu anaweza zungumza Kiswahili, so ananiambia kwa Kisomali atasoboho wadimate, yani inamaanisha nikitoka umekufa.
The family is now pleading for justice to prevail as the suspect is awaiting to take a plea for murder charges at Makadara Law Courts. In Nairobi, residents of Mukuru Kwanjenga are decrying the rising cases of insecurity in the area after a man identified as Kevo was found dead in an illicit brew den early morning. A night guard who heard the commotion, however, suspects it may be a case of love gone sour.
Sikia nduru na makelele nje kama mali kuna vita, na nikatokea nje. Nilipotokea nje nikapata kuna mtu mmoja jamaa alikuwa ameuawa, amewekwa kando kwa kibanda, na tena kulikuwa na msichana mmoja mnyonge, alikuwa mlevi, anakaa njaa, mwenye hana nguvu kabisa, na amepigwa sana na raia, wanataka kumuua wakisema ati alihusika.
Kumbe alikuwa amekunywa pombe kwa bar fulani hapo, so alikuwa anazuzania mwanamke. So wakati nilisikia ameingia kwa hiyo klabu, nikaingia kwa hiyo klabu, nikavunja mlango, nikatoa wanawake wawili, walikuwa wanawake wawili, nikawaleta nje. Wakati naanza kuwauliza nini imefanyika, mmoja akakimbia, nikabaki na mmoja. Huyo mmoja akasema walikuwa na jamaa fulani, nikaenda pale huyo jamaa pia alikuwa, nikatoa huyo jamaa. Kufika hapo sasa unajua na mimi peke yangu, mimi ndio soja au jamaa kapotea.
Locals lamented that an increase in the number of illicit brew dens may be a contributing factor to the rise in insecurity cases and are now calling on intervention by relevant authorities.
Hapa kuna usalama, hata kama wanawake wanakuuza pombe nini, hakuna usalama kutosha hapa kwetu Mukuru Kwanjenga. Kama ndugu yetu anaweza kuuliwa hapa saa 11 na wanasema kuna ulinzi wameweka kutosha, hakuna. Hata serikali yetu ya hapa hakuna usalama iko hapa kutosha.
Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
From Crime Watch now to global warming, where stakeholders in the climate change-related matters are now pushing for implementation and accountability of climate post-COP27 resolution to ensure that the resources are well managed. The partners have said they are reaching out to communities at grassroots levels to educate them on various good practices to promote sustainability and prepare them to adapt to various changes.
The Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, Kenya Platform for Climate Governance and WWF have partnered to help local communities conserve the natural resources they depend upon. The partners are now seeking to ensure that the value of nature is reflected in decision-making from a local to a global scale. Environment experts said the aspect of loss and damage needs to be elevated to different levels, starting with individuals being accountable and employing best practices. Kenya Platform for Climate Governance National Coordinator Ann Tek said they are focusing on arising matters and issues discussed post-COP27 to ensure that there is accountability.
How are we as a country prepared to even adjust to the decisions that were made during COP27? And what we are looking for is one, to ensure that our members understand what really climate change is, but not only our members, but who they are representing, the grassroots community at the regions. Why, for them to understand the climate change issues and also adjust.
The officials have said there is need to embrace diversity by ensuring that all communities are a part of the conversation, especially the younger generation.
But again, the question of adaptation has been very, very key. Remember, a lot of resources, really from the global climate, finance infrastructure, goes to mitigation. However, adaptation is a necessity. It's something that we must do.
The stakeholders are now looking to build capacity by ensuring that locals understand climate change-related matters and support policy issues. Various stakeholders are now partnering to ensure that different policies put in place concerning climate change post-COP27 are implemented. For KBC Channel 1, I am Teresa Mutai.
Let's look at the day's business, where high transaction cost and low consumer education on the financial market are some of the major challenges facing retail in Kenya. The Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts say the sector is also facing a high case of fraud, calling for stronger regulations and the adoption of modern retail business trends.
The Institute of Certified Investment and Financial Analysts wants the government to reduce the cost of taxation in trading and allow the borrowing and lending of securities to retain investors. The players in the sector also identified inadequate information in making investment decisions as a big challenge. Isifa says new store openings, acquisitions and e-commerce are expected to drive the Kenyan retail industry as it bounces after a turbulent period caused by COVID-19.
We want to speak to every investor from every level, whether it is the hustlers, and another way is have campaigns in collaboration with the government, have the financial literacy campaigns. I know there are also efforts to have the financial literacy education starting from our young children in school. That is one way, but we can enhance this to keep it consistent and effective.
The retail sector in Kenya is the second most developed and sophisticated in Africa after South Africa, with large retailers like Carrefour, Naivas, Chandarana and Quickmart controlling more than 40% of the market. The government plans to reform laws and regulations that will spur the sector, which contributes almost 80% of the country's gross domestic product while employing 90% of Kenya's workforce. Frederick Mwoki for Lunchtime News.
In the entertainment scene, the Kenyan film scene is pushing more local content due to increased demand by viewers in the country. Kenya Film Commission CEO Timothy Owase says Kenyan-centric films provide a local touch that viewers are gravitating towards, and content providers should endeavor to meet this demand, which also promotes local talent.
The Kenyan creative economy currently contributes about 5% to the gross domestic product. This, however, still falls short of the global average of 6.1%, which is expected to hit $985 billion by 2023. Players are now rerouting strategies to encompass local content, which they say is becoming a major factor in wooing customers to streaming platforms. They say the Kenyan sector is rich with untapped potential, and investing back into the industry is a surefire way to grow.
Come up with programs that entertain while at the same time
support the Kenyan creatives in appreciation of the immense talent available in the country.
They say it is essential to create a facilitative regulatory environment for continued growth of the local film industry and challenged creatives to take advantage of the new favorable licensing regime to venture into the industry.
All those local actors, okay, and we purely almost 80% is in Swahili.
They made the remarks during the launch of a local drama series dubbed Q. StarTimes announced plans to invest 200 million shillings in local content, with Q being the latest production.
They provide opportunities for filmmakers, our actors, and other artists to benefit.
Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
Content creators, over to you. Elsewhere, coffee production increased 34% in the year to September this year, propped up by good prices in the international market over the last 3 years. Coffee Directorate Acting Director Enos Akuma predicts that the production will be sustained next year despite a reduction in prices as supplies from Brazil increases.
But this year, coffee production stood at 51,583 metric tons, up from 34,000 metric tons during a similar period last year. The Coffee Directorate attributes the growth to good prices over the last 3 years, the Cherry Revolving Fund, and the 40% subsidy program introduced 2 years ago.
The government recently rolled out a 40% fertilizer subsidy program. This subsidy program has also assisted farmers to put more resources in the coffee, and we have seen production go up.
The Coffee Directorate is pursuing public-private partnership deals to ensure farmers get quality farm inputs and access more markets for their beans, as the regulator seeks to increase production to an average of 200,000 metric tons annually.
And this increase in production is attributed to what we are going through today, the interventions by Solidaridad in the west and east of Rift, the reforms the government has been putting in place in the central region of Kenya, in the western region of Kenya, together with the private sector, has seen farmers starting putting more investments in coffee.
A Dutch-funded coffee resilience project is seeking to train 12,000 coffee farmers on the best production practices.
We also have worked very closely with the Coffee Research Institute to be able to deliver on training for quality management of coffee during processing, for good agricultural practices from the farm, as well as integrate regeneration agriculture practices and climate smart resilient practices. And we've been able to record some very good results in terms of numbers. We've been able to reach about 12,000 farmers through the same program.
Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, startups should utilize the data they collect to detect inefficiencies in running their businesses to survive their second birthdays. Blue Chip Technologies Managing Director Cedric Ziga point out that Kenya's growth, especially in the tech sector, risks faltering owing to poor budgeting and technological application by some tech entrepreneurs despite adequate funding.
The Kenyan Startup Ecosystem Report 2022 indicates that tech startups have higher rates of acceleration and are more diverse than Tier 1 startup ecosystems and are also raising more funding than before. Cedric Ziga, the Managing Director at Blue Chip Technologies, notes that coupled with adequate business skills, Kenyan innovators can take advantage of Kenya's growing tech space.
Nicknamed Silicon Savannah, Kenya is one of the second largest technology hubs in sub-Saharan Africa. And that's one of the reasons why we are here, right? You can also see the kind of investments and where most of the technology giants are sitting. They're sitting right here in the country.
This week, President William Ruto launched the Kenya Innovation Week 2022, an event showcasing various strides in the tech industry. Innovators called for government support, and the government responded in kind.
I also pledge that the government of Kenya, as I said earlier, we are processing a startups bill that will also help scale up and de-risk startups and give them the opportunity to grow into enterprises.
I would only expect any other government to also try to regulate how businesses operate, which means that's going to also change on a daily. It changes as change comes. That shows that the government is adopting to change.
We want to see all businesses across the country leveraging on technology solutions. We want to see a system whereby ICT providers like us are able to partner with this small enterprise to make sure they are having their process streamlined, they are having their integrated solutions.
Alana Oko, Lunchtime News.
Now, a section of Mumias Sugar Company employees are calling on the government to come to their aid to resolve a row with their employer. The employees claim their salary arrears have not been settled and that they have been issued with a notice to vacate staff houses, issues they want urgently resolved.
Hii pesa havijalipwa. Malipo yake ilisemekana hivi. Watu wa chini ya shilingi 100 ndio walilipwa. Sasa ukienda huko keti imefungwa. Tutadai nani? Mwenye kudaiwa hakuna.
Inadai kampuni shilingi 1300. Na nilishindwa vile naweza pata hiyo pesa kwa sababu tulisikia tuna pesa ilitumwa, lakini tena tuna watu walikuwa wanapatiwa hiyo pesa. Sisi wakulima tulikuwa tunapewa.
Tumeuza mashamba tukijaribu kusomesha watoto, mashamba yenyewe imeisha. Hata watoto wakishindwa kupata kazi wanunue mashamba, hawana mahali pa kuishi. Saa hii ukiingia kwa nyumba unangoja watoto walale ndio uingie, kwa sababu atakuuliza papa, nguo ya Christmas, nasikia Christmas inakuja, utamwambia nini?
Groundnut farming is taking root in Turkana County, with the Katilu irrigation scheme expected to produce 2.7 tons of the commodity. The county is positioning itself as the groundnuts production hub in Kenya, with plans to put up 18,000 hectares under groundnut farming. The project, that is transforming livelihoods and funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, will see the county sell groundnuts worth 2.5 billion shillings annually by the year 2025.
Last year, Turkana County unveiled the Groundnut Production Strategy 2022-2027 with the aim of increasing groundnuts production in the arid county. The strategy is hinged on tapping the public-private partnership to put over 18,000 acres under groundnut production. The county is targeting to export the commodity and use its byproduct to deal with malnutrition, which remains a major health problem in the devolved unit.
We also gone a step further in providing post-harvest management equipment and materials such as tarpaulins and pallets to enable the storage of these crops without really getting contaminated with aflatoxins.
The county has partnered with Food and Agriculture Organization, Egerton University, and the National Irrigation Board to boost productivity, marketing, and accelerate food and nutrition security, employment creation, and improve incomes.
We still call upon our stakeholders to come closer to our farmers so that we can assist them to get to another level whereby they can make this scheme to be sustainable, and it can be food secure and nutritional security to county and the community at large.
Kwa tu tukipanda tunapata hasara, lakini vile tulipanda juzi njugu tumefaidika.
According to Deborah Akru, one of the beneficiaries, the initiative is a big boost to their income, with a kilo retailing at 72 shillings in the local market. The county is looking for private partners in value addition to produce groundnut cakes, flour, biscuits, among other products. FAO Turkana County Field Support Officer Joseph Okumu has said groundnuts farming has the potential to improve food and nutrition security, besides their ability to tolerate drought, hence making them the best for the area.
The choice of variety that we are doing here, that's Ndovu and Mwangaza, we're also not seeing very diseases and insects affecting the varieties here.
Elsewhere, more than 3,000 farmers have been trained on sustainable livestock and agriculture farming within Mau Forest. The farmers have been equipped with modern agriculture skills in a bid to save the acutely threatened ecosystem. More than 20,000 hectares of Mau Forest have been left bare due to acute deforestation. The Mau Forest is a critical water catchment area supplying water to the country and the region.
The Mau Forest covers over 400,000 hectares of land, with 10 million people depending on the ecosystem for their livelihoods. However, years of negligence and unchecked logging threatens the critical water tower, with 25% of the tree cover now depleted. Various efforts to conserve the forest has proven difficult due to political and social interest.
As always, working with behavior change, that's always a challenge, but that's the business we are in, trying to help communities understand the benefits of the change that we are trying to create.
Together with the partners in the ISLA consortium, we have co-designed and co-funded a number of projects towards restoring the landscape.
Residents of Mau Southwest have been grazing their livestock in the forest over the years, threatening the fragile forest. This has had severe effect as the forest has been left bare, resulting in drying of water sources and the area experiencing erratic weather patterns, thus straining their income.
Recently, we have seen a reduction in the water quantity downstream, and as well as water quality, especially in areas of Kericho. And we recognize that a lot of the water sources are on the upper side of this southwest Mau. So we want to protect these water sources so that we increase the water quantity and the quality downstream.
So far, more than 1,200 farmers have benefited from the training that seeks to empower more than 3,000 farmers by the year 2025.
Wakati nilikuwa forest, nilikuwa na ng'ombe mingi, na vile nilipata training nikajua, nikarealize kumbe hata ng'ombe kidogo pia inatoa maziwa, na tumewachana na mambo ya forest na tukafanya mambo yetu hapa.
Various stakeholders have signed conservation charters vowing to help restore the complex in a bid to align with the government's efforts of upscaling the country's tree cover to 30% by the year 2030. Area residents have lauded the initiative, saying they are already reaping the benefits of the conservation efforts.
We are focusing a lot of our activities on the degraded part of the forest
to improve the ecosystem around the Mau Forest.
The pace and severity of deforestation in the Mau region has been disastrous. Through this initiative by the IDH, residents of the southwest Mau region will now have sustainable livelihoods without interfering with the forest. Terry Njenga reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Kericho County.
To Qatar now, record champions Brazil face Croatia in the first quarter-final at 6 p.m. this evening at the Education City Stadium. Representatives from both teams gave their thoughts ahead of the encounter. Daniel Wahome has this report from Qatar.
Time world champions Brazil got a win against a European side at the knockout stages of a World Cup was in the 2-0 win over Germany at the 2002 final played in Yokohama, Japan. Tonight, they seek to break the trend as they face Croatia at the Education City Stadium from 6 p.m. Head coach Tite has called for mental fortitude from his side.
There's a lot of resilience and persistence, and to get to this very high level, that is what is required. My focus is to repeat the activities of a Brazilian team, recognizing the virtues of our opponents, but we have to repeat our standard. We play our excellent game, and then whoever's best continues on to the next match.
I think the secret to success is our capacity of changing our tactical scheme. Our coaching staff is working to try to extract the best of each player. What is positive is that our players are versatile and they are willing to play in different positions if need be.
Their opponents are 2018 runners-up Croatia, who are aiming for a third semi-final after doing so in 1998 and in 2018. However, Croatia boss Zlatko Dalic has played the humility card, given that he has a developing squad.
In 2018, we had a national team who was playing for 10 years in a row, and they were playing in the best of leagues, in the best of clubs, and this is not the situation with our current national team. We need time to develop and mature. I believe that our success at this World Cup to be among the 8 best in the world is tremendous. Yes, we have faced off Brazil on several occasions. Unfortunately, we have yet not won against them. I really hope that this can change and will change the tradition tomorrow. And Brazil has phenomenal players in the midfield, in the defense, and in the attack, in the forward.
While everyone may look at Croatia as a team that made it to the final of the 2018 World Cup, there are 16 significant changes in that squad. It's no longer the very experienced one that played in Russia and lost to France in the final. As for Brazil, it's all about a revival and push their way on to a 6th title. Look out for what happens this evening. World Cup iko KBC, KBC iko Qatar. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Daniel Wahome.
Thanks, Wahome, for that detailed report. And now to the other quarter-final match. Netherlands boss Louis van Gaal has shrugged off criticism from Argentina winger Angel Di Maria, with the pair set to meet again in Friday's World Cup quarter-final. Favourites Argentina take on 2010 World Cup runner-up Netherlands at the Lusail Iconic Stadium, aiming to qualify for the semis.
A mouth-watering World Cup 2022 quarter-final, which promises goals, takes place at the Lusail Iconic Stadium on Friday evening as the Netherlands do battle with Argentina. Louis van Gaal's men overcame USA 3-1 to book their spot in the last 8, while South America's champions
McAllister, Messi!
got better of Australia 2-1 to keep their hopes of glory alive. Not since 1994 have the 2010 runners-up failed to win a quarter-final match at the World Cup, and the Netherlands' unbeaten streak in all competition now stands at a whopping 19 matches, but something has to give when two attacking heavyweights battle for supremacy. Argentina most recently progressed from the quarter-final in 2014 en route to finishing as runners-up, but they had lost their last 3 ties in the last 8 before that in 1998, 2006 and 2010, and their hopes of glory have ended at the hands of European teams 9 times in a row since the inaugural 1930 edition.
And keep on going too, and he has plenty to pick out. Vinicius Junior in space.
In another match, Brazil take on 2018 runners-up Croatia at the Education City Stadium.
Juggling away. Nicely done. He might get it back. He does! Oh! Vinicius. Paqueta! 4-0.
Yeah, remember, World Cup Eco KBC, quite some tantalizing matches today as we wait for the big one tomorrow. Yeah, Morocco will be facing Portugal. Thank you so much indeed for watching. My name is Bentro Njue, and Lucy Maura has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Thank you so much. Have yourself a sporty weekend.
These two sides are clashing
of course, their first meet in August 12, 1995, when Brazil beat Korea by 1-0. It was yet another friendly and yet another opportunity now in terms of the pressure that is coming through. Oh, the set piece given away, and it's certainly no debate about it. He looks shocked, but it will be a penalty without a doubt. Deep into the box.
Well, these are good things from strikers who do pressing.
Good work ethic by Charlison. And that's certainly a foul. Rafinha, and first yellow card will come through from the French referee. Oh, it will always be Wang Wuyang. He's the one who conceded the penalty. Got a yellow card in the last game and will certainly miss the next game if he does see this South Korean side qualify to the next round.
Very strong.
End this evening here. Messi in the meantime. Ball in between the defense and good block by Matthew Ryan. Inside here, and Garang with a task. Good save by the goalkeeper. The youngster would have made a difference here.
A chance, what a chance, what a chance. He was very good in protecting the ball. He's turning to finish. The goalkeeper made the necessary effort and saved the situation. He did all he could. I mean, you can't blame him for what he did. A young man at that age, he did a good job, but the goalkeeper was good.
They know what it means for that save that has come through from Emiliano Martinez, denying Garanko.
Hayawi huwa kinyang'anyiro cha kombe la dunia nchini Qatar chang'oananga Novemba 20 hadi Disemba 18, huku timu 32 zikiwania taji. KBC Channel 1 inakupa fursa ya kutizama mbashara kipute hicho kutoka Qatar nyumbani kwako. Runinga ya KBC Channel 1 inakukaribisha kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda Qatar.
Na kuambia kwamba baba, alama ya reli ni Dunda Dunda Qatar.
Na tunakuja nyumbani pale mtaani pale ambapo upo wewe mwenyewe. Huku ukijishindia zawadi chungu nzima.
Hapa kumejaa vitu kocho kocho.
Jongea. Shabiki kwenye Dunda Dunda Qatar. Ukitazama unashinda. KBC Channel 1, wenzio wa 30 michezoni.
KBC Board of Directors, Management and Staff wishes all our esteemed listeners, viewers and clients a happy Jamhuri Day. As we honor the struggles of many brave hearts who fought for the country's freedom, let us strive to make our nation peaceful and prosperous. May God bless Kenya. Happy Jamhuri Day.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
These two sides are clashing. Of course, their first meet in August 12, 1995, when Brazil beat Korea by 1-0. It was yet another friendly and yet another opportunity now in terms of the pressure that is coming through. Oh, the set piece given away, and it's certainly no debate about it. He looks shocked, but it will be a penalty without a doubt. Deep into the box.
These are good things from strikers who do pressing.
Good work ethic by Charlison. And that's certainly a foul. Rafinha, and first yellow card will come through from the French referee. Oh, it will always be Wang Wunyang. He's the one who conceded the penalty. Got a yellow card in the last game and will certainly miss the next game if he does see this South Korean side qualify to the next round.
Very strong.
End this evening here. Messi in the meantime. Ball in between the defense and good block by Matthew Ryan. Inside here, and Garang with a task. Good save by the goalkeeper. The youngster would have made a difference here.
A chance, what a chance, what a chance. He was very good in protecting the ball. He's turning to finish. The goalkeeper made the necessary efforts and saved the situation. He did all he could. I mean, you can't blame him for what he did. A young man at that age, he did a good job, but the goalkeeper was good.
They know what it means for that save that has come through from Emiliano Martinez, denying Garanko. Welcome to the El Janabu Stadium here in Qatar for this round of 16.
Another day of marches, and Argentina comes up against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in a match that Argentina was largely expected to win. And playing with Lionel Messi, it was quite expected that Argentina would have nothing to worry about up at the front. The goals would definitely then come on their own. Goalkeeper, of course, keeping the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia into the game, and a possible check on a penalty, especially because of what happened in that box, gets things to work for the Argentinian side. Well, a lot of pushing and pulling and tugging in that box, cited by the referee, and a possible check for a penalty would come up with a very interesting result. of a penalty that has been given to Argentina in the 8th minute of the game. In the 9th minute, you would say, Lionel Messi steps up on his very adept left foot, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, easily slotting the ball into the net for the first goal for Argentina in the Group C match. Not any trouble at all. Quite adept at what he does. Goalkeeper goes the wrong way. Lionel Messi very easily taps this one in the net. And as expected, Argentina is leading this game. They keep pushing as well as Messi again gets onto the target, but this time round, slotting the ball into the net would yield a different result altogether with a flag up for offside, and that goal then doesn't count. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia decide to take things into their hands as well and push further up. With Saleh Al-Sebi put through, he beats the goalkeeper and puts the ball into the net in the 48th minute of the game. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is level with Argentina at 1-1, quite unexpectedly. Beating the goalkeeper with a good shot on the left side, and the excitement of just being level then becomes the big thing. Another shot here that the goalkeeper fails to parry off in the 53rd minute of the goal. Salam Al-Dasari with a left foot shot that is celebrated by everybody right from the bench as well, and leaves the Argentinians wondering what exactly hit them there. Nice curve on the right foot. Argentina would try to come back with De Paula having his shot saved right at the line by the goalkeeper.